Yo, what's up guys? I'm Grandmaster Shaman and welcome back to Flower Paradise, and today we have another episode of our Notre Dame franchise mode in Madden 21 where we can only use players from Notre Dame or Division II schools only if there are no Notre Dame players available. So our current team looks a little something like this. If you guys did miss the last episode, I'd highly recommend going back and checking that out, as it was a very interesting game that we ended up losing, unfortunately. There was a lot of good takeaways to come from that. Deshaun Kaiser played pretty well, in all honesty. You know, Josh Adams had a pretty solid game. We got quite a few people who got some development upgrades, and now we take on the 1-0 Cardinals. So this is going to be interesting. I think the first thing that I'm going to do, by the way, is I'm going to go into my schemes. And I think I kind of want to do a Tampa 2 defense and focus more on pass coverage than anything else, which I believe uses Dallas's defense. Not that I would want to use Dallas's defense in this current predicament, but I believe playbook-wise, Dallas's defense is the closest you can get to a Tampa 2, I think. Yeah, I can't really use anything else. And offensively, I think we're in a pretty good spot. You know, I unfortunately our offense did not play very well last week, but we have an opportunity against the Arizona Cardinals, who are 1-0 on the season. This one we are not going to be watching the entire game, as watching 16 games over the course of the season will take way too long. So we only want to do a couple of games during the season. So we'll come back with the final score. And so it was 38-21. A brilliant fourth quarter from the Cardinals put this game out of reach after the game was tied, and the Arizona Cardinals did in fact get the win, putting our Notre Dame football team down to 0-2. They outgained us 399-366. Our offense didn't play too terribly. However, our rush yards was a little bit lackluster. But we didn't turn the ball over, which is kind of surprising. As we look at the player stats, look at Deshaun Kaiser, 293 yards passing, 3 touchdowns, and 0 interceptions. He was sacked 6 times, though. But Aaron Rodgers did throw an interception in this game, giving us our first pick for the new season. However, he did still throw 3 touchdowns and only get sacked twice. Running the football, James White had a big day because once again we cannot run the football very well, as Josh Adams did not have a very solid day. 37 yards on the ground, Procise 25. Not very much rushing the football. Golden Tate had himself one hell of a day, 147 yards through the air and a touchdown. Will Fuller the fifth also had 47 yards, and Rudolph also made it into the end zone once. Defensively, James Onwallo and Drew Tranquill both had 9 tackles in this game, which is pretty solid. Calais Campbell ate some people, along with Von Miller in this game. Jerry Tillery got himself a sack along with Tranquill and Abada from No College. And overall, I think not too bad. We did end up losing, of course, by 17, but the players played pretty well in that one, as we do have a message about a potential breakout star. So Julian Love, our free safety, has an opportunity. Hold the Browns to less than 200 passing yards, or get Julian Love an interception, forced fumble, tackle for loss, or a sack. So that is going to be a game day goal for us against the Browns. Now we could watch this game and hope that Julian Love makes one of those plays, or we hold them to under 200 yards passing, or we can move on. But regardless, I think before we even worry about that, this is going to be absolutely huge. What will the game give us in terms of possibilities, and it's not looking too good off the bat. Notre Dame players, Notre Dame players, Notre Dame players. Oh dear God. Oh dear God. There's no Notre Dame players up until the second round defensive tackle Lamar Newsome. So, yikes. Not looking super good, and my replacement for my quarterback isn't going to happen. Unfortunately, no Ian Book. I don't know where he is actually on the lineup, but no Notre Dame players until the second round. So that is going to be highly unfortunate. I'm going to be scouting these players and let you know if maybe one of those second or third round Notre Dame guys has any sort of cool statistics, but more than likely it looks like we're going to have a pretty short draft, which is actually okay. We might be able to trade away our first round selection depending on how far we go for something big, maybe even obviously it would have to be a Notre Dame player, but I think that there are some Notre Dame players that we could potentially grab that would be pretty big pickups here. So we'll have to see how that goes. Upgrading players-wise, we only have Tavare Thomas, who is our corner. And he is a 2-year player out of Ferris State. I think he's like a third-string corner or something. He probably got it in practice. And that's going to bring us to our game against the Cleveland Browns, who are 2-0. Well, ladies and gentlemen, Julian Love has increased to star development. We did lose to the Cleveland Browns 35-24, putting us at 0-3 on the season. However, Julian Love did get a star development trait upgrade, which is pretty exciting, and 20,000 experience boost, which is absolutely thrilling. And we also have another opportunity here for James Onwualu to potentially get something good against the Baltimore Ravens. We have to hold them less to 250 total yards or have Onwualu get a pick, forced fumble, tackle for loss, or sack. So that could be a very big opportunity for James Onwualu, as well as the 0-3 Washington football team, aka Notre Dame. Well, we've got to try and do something. If we go and look at the stat line of the game, Deshaun Kaiser, once again, 0 interceptions. Josh Allen had 2 picks, only 155 yards through the air, and was sacked twice. Deshaun Kaiser's played, I have no idea how he's playing this well. I'm not going to lie to you. If you guys have, watched any of the Impossible Quarterback Challenge from Madden 20, I had a 50 overall quarterback who actually played extremely well and won Rookie of the Year in his first season, which is kind of insane. Of course, Todd Gurley did run for 165 yards and 3 touchdowns, though, and that is where all of that went. And their backup running back had 7 rushes for 82 yards, with 11.7 yards per rush, while Josh Adams only had 35 yards on the ground. Golden Tate, 95 yards receiving in this game. Chase Claypool, 47 yards and a touchdown. Very nice. We take those. Defensively, Onwualu and Julian Love both had 8. And Drew Tranquill and Aloy Gilman, the rookie out of Notre Dame, both had an interception in this game, which is pretty exciting. I don't know if there's forced fumbles. Kavari Russell and Jalen Ramsey both forced a fumble, which is pretty interesting. But we were able to hold them under their passing yard mark, so we do in fact get Julian Love up to his star development, which could be extremely good. Speaking of extremely good, Notre Dame players this year, scout-wise. So far through my scouting, each of the Notre Dame players has been considered a higher pick than what they are currently marked at. So we'll have to see. Maybe that'll be good, maybe that won't be good, I don't know. But it should be very interesting to say the least. I'm actually kind of looking forward to this year's draft class a little bit more. I think there's only 4 Notre Dame players in the entire class, though, so that does make it a little bit difficult. But you guys will see when we get there. Without further ado, we're going to play the Ravens next. Ladies and gentlemen, James Onwualu also got it, and if you'll notice in the top left corner, we won the game. That was something that I wasn't expecting. I was hoping James Onwualu would have gotten the star development trait, because that means we have 2 players now with star development trait over the last 2 weeks. But we not only did that, but we beat the Baltimore Ravens 27-24. That is absolutely huge, and of course 20,000 more points for our linebacker as well. In fact, we even got Golden Tate with 204 receiving yards and 3 receiving touchdowns on 5 receptions. 5 catches, and he did all of that. Wow, that was absolutely crazy. Wow. Damn, was not expecting that, not gonna lie. I was kind of expecting us to go 0-16, but we got the win. Which is kind of insane. I want to know how we did it. Let's see here. So Drew Lock is the quarterback for the Baltimore Ravens. He had 1 pick. Once again, a 3 touchdown, 0 interception game for Deshaun Kaiser. What is up with that? But he is playing extremely well, though he hasn't got a single upgrade point. Unless, I guess I'm simming, so it's entirely possible that he has, and it just simmed and gave it to him for me. But wow, very interesting. Look at this. We did not allow a single person to rush for over 100 yards. That is a very, very big improvement from our defense in this game. Golden Tate, 204 yards receiving and 3 touchdowns. What a day for Golden Tate. Only 5 catches, too. That's just absolutely wild. James Onwualu had 12 tackles and an interception in this game, which is pretty crazy. Romeo Okwara had 8 tackles. Greer Martini had 8 tackles. Troy Pride Jr. had 8 tackles. Jalen Smith had 6 tackles. Julian Love had 6 tackles. Wow. What a game. And a 27-24 victory, putting us at 1-3 on the season. That's still probably one of the worst in the league, but hey, I'll take what I can take. Unfortunately, we do have an injury here. So our first injury of the season, Aloy Gilman broke his collarbone. He's out for 7 weeks. That is super unfortunate. Our rookie corner out of Notre Dame, who has been playing pretty decently this season. Unfortunately, he will be out for 7 weeks, meaning he won't come back until about week 12. We also have a player ready to negotiate. It is going to be our center, Lamont Galvez. I'm probably not going to negotiate. Oh, what? Georgia? I thought I got rid of all of them. Yeah, I'm definitely not going to negotiate with you if you don't even if you're not even a Division II player. He's not starting, so I'm not really too worried about it. At least he shouldn't be starting. Yeah, that's Bars. Bars is a Notre Dame player. So, yeah, he's backup to Bars. Interesting. So, yeah, I still haven't seen anything new out of Deshaun Kaiser in terms of upgrades, but we do have a few Oh, man, what a day for Onwualu. Those 20,000 points really came in clutch. Julian Love has moved up to 78 overall. Very nice. We love to see that. The one-year player out of Notre Dame with a star development trait. You love to see it. You really do. Onwualu getting star development trait is actually huge considering where he's currently at. Cole Kmet moves up to 76 overall, and obviously his rookie year still. So that could be huge long-term. F.A. Obada up to 69 overall out of no college, obviously. And James Onwualu moving up in the world. He is now past the 70 overall threshold, and that's going to put him in a really great position here to really make a statement at our linebacker position, putting him up to 73 overall, which is terrific, going into his 4th year out of Notre Dame with a star development trait. You really do love to see it, as we are now going to relocate the team. Unfortunately, relocation is literally the exact same. They even kept the map the same. It's highly unfortunate that they really choose to not do anything like at all with this. Yeah, there are no rebrand options in this location. That's what we like to call laziness. But we're going to be going to Dublin to kind of get our Notre Dame, the Shamrocks, I think is what we're going to go for in this regard. We're obviously going to have to answer our media question on how, we're going to kick butt in the next city. But regardless, next up is the Los Angeles Rams, a 3-1 football team, and we'll just go for and see what happens. Well, another unfortunate circumstance for us, as a 38-20 LA Rams victory puts the Notre Dame Fighting Irish at 1-4. So we got heavily outgained, almost actually just barely over double in offensive yards for the LA Rams, as Cam Newton had 5 touchdowns and 2 interceptions in this game, only sacked 1 time. Deshaun Kaiser actually didn't throw a pick, but wasn't really that effective with only 160 yards and 2 touchdowns. And of course, rushing the football, Josh Adams only had 37 yards, so not really a very big game from him, though we did allow less than 100 yards for a single player, and that was Shaquan Barkley. So very interesting to see there. Receiving-wise, D.D. Westbrook and Irv Smith Jr. made some big plays. Kyle Rudolph led our team in with 2 touchdowns and 65 yards in this one. Defensively, James Onwualu had 14 tackles, which is a pretty hefty number, along with Harrison Smith's 10, Drew Tranquill's 9, and Troy Pride Jr.'s 9. Interceptions-wise, Drew Tranquill and Kavari Russell were the ones with the interceptions. Drew Tranquill has been pretty good in that regard, in all honesty. But another loss here, putting us at 1-4 with a game against the New York Giants on the way. Just looking at where we're currently at, it's going to be a pretty tough sledding for us, to say the least. But I think we should be interesting. Oh, what is this, by the way? I didn't even notice this. Josh Adams, for a while, you think he can make some big plays. Get Josh Adams 2 touchdowns or 100 or more rushing or receiving yards. That I can only do, really, if he was very close in the game that we watched, but he hasn't been anywhere near in the games that we haven't watched. So there's a very good chance that if we want Josh Adams to be able to break out here, we might have to watch this game against the New York Giants and see if he can't pull something out of the bag of tricks, as Chase Claypool moves up to 74 overall. It says that he hasn't played a single down, though I know that's not true, because he did get a few catches in the opening week, and he's been getting catches all season, because he is currently at, he's the slot receiver right now. So I know he's been at least doing something. Unfortunately, I don't really think Josh Adams is going to be able to be competitive in this scenario, so I think we're just going to have to pass and see if we can't beat the New York Football Giants, who are sitting at 3-2. Well, I don't really know what to say about this one, but we did win. We didn't allow a single point. 10-0. Notre Dame beats the New York Giants, giving us our 2nd win of the season. I'm not going to lie, I did not expect us to ever shut a team out, let alone such a wonky 10-0 game We only scored 10 points in the first half, and then the second half it was just a stalemate. Also, no touchdowns, no interceptions for Matt Ryan. Got shut out. I don't know how that was possible. But no touchdowns, no interceptions for either quarterback. 246 yards is pretty decent. Josh Adams did get in the end zone once, but did not make that 100-yard threshold that we wanted here. Receiving wise, Chase Claypool had a big day. 76 yards, 8 catches. Golden Tate had 57 yards on 3 catches. Obviously, no touchdowns there. Yeah, our only touchdown was Josh Adams running the football in for a touchdown. So 10-0 gives us our second win of the season, which is something I personally did not expect us to be able to accomplish. Yeah, Josh Adams unfortunately does not get the bonus there, as now we have to unfortunately deal with these pretty ugly uniforms. I'm not going to lie. I think we're just going to go with style 2. I definitely like, in Madden 25, the Shamrock looked different, and I liked it a lot more than this weird Shamrock that they have. Looks like we have quite a few players with increasing development traits, as James Onwalu moves up to 74 overall with that star development trait. That's really nice for him to start going. TJ Jones, probably from the practice squad, I can imagine. That looks nothing like TJ Jones, by the way. Absolutely nothing like TJ Jones. Julian Akwara, they want him to be a power rusher. We might as well give him an opportunity here, getting that. Alex Bars, our guard, is moving up to 63 overall, which is pretty nice. You'll love to see that. And that'll pick Mike Mcglinchey up to 86 overall in his third year at Notre Dame with a star development trait. That is nice to see. We also do have another injury. CJ Procise with a foot fracture. So our backup running back is out. Luckily, all of our running backs are from Notre Dame, so we do have a backup ready to go for him. Now, the 0-6 Dallas Cowboys take on Notre Dame in Notre Dame this week. I didn't even notice they were 0-6. In fact, we're second in the division behind the Eagles. Or no, the Giants. The Eagles beat us in week 1 and haven't won a single game since, going 0-5. And our 10-0 win over the Giants means if we can win this week and the Giants lose, we could be a playoff team in the NFC East. I love how the realism carries over from the actual NFL to this game as well, as the NFC East is absolute ass cheeks. Well, this is a big game for us. We cannot allow the Dallas Cowboys to get their first win of the season. Let's see whether or not we will mess that up. Well, ladies and gentlemen, 21-7, Notre Dame beats the winless Dallas Cowboys, putting the Cowboys to as many losses as they scored points in this game, which is 7. I will say this game seems interesting. 2 touchdowns, 0 interceptions for Zashon Kaiser, was sacked once. Oh, Jameis Winston didn't throw an interception, though, so kind of a odd thing there. You'd think he would match his touchdowns and interceptions together, but unfortunately that did not happen. Rushing-wise, Josh Adams had 49 yards on the ground. Kareem Hunt had 37. Tate had 82 yards and a touchdown. Rudolph had 58 yards and a touchdown. So that's pretty good. Looks like we didn't have to get that many tackles, or that way we kind of... Oh, Chandler Jones got the sack there, but that's going to put us at a 3-4 record with back-to-back wins. So going into our bye week, we are looking in pretty good shape, actually. I guess with Notre Dame, you might as well go the traditional deluxe stadium. Seems kind of like the way to go. We also have a couple of player upgrades here. It looks like some of our really low overall players are finally getting there. Lamont Galvez is 70 overall. He's obviously from Georgia. I don't even remember signing him to the team, so you'll have to apologize. I'm sorry for that. I could cut him. That guy's out of Brown, so that works. I could cut him, but I feel like if I just kept cutting people, they would keep putting people on my team that are from other colleges, and I don't really think it's really affecting the team at all. It's not like he's making my team like a whole lot better. He's not even playing right now, so hopefully you guys understand that as Kareem Orr. I did not mean to do man coverage. I meant to do zone coverage, but that's fine. My backup quarterback's now up to 57 overall. Probably getting that practice squad rep. And Troy Pride Sr. is up to 71 overall. You'll love to see that. 71 overall as a rookie, 22 years old at Notre Dame with normal development. Yeah, that's not bad. So this is something that I did want to show you guys. I have found and successfully scouted all of our Notre Dame players. We have 2 players that are first-round talents and 2 players who are third-round talents. It's interesting because like this linebacker looks really good, but he's a speed rusher with A- zone coverage, which kind of makes no sense. And then this guy's got straight A's across the board, but he's got to have some sort of downside to be a third-round talent. This guy just looks overall amazing. A+ catching, A catch in traffic, A spectacular catch at wide receiver. I mean, you couldn't really ask for much more. And then Lamar Newsome. The big thing, though, is that he's kind of like, I don't know, 230 pounds, 6'5". Like, that's a pretty good set for a receiver. I'm really liking this wide receiver who's expected to go in the 4th round. That could be a nice little diamond in the rough. And Lamar Newsome, second-round player. He's expected to go in the 1st round, but he doesn't really have the most amazing stats. So, I mean, he's probably just barely a little bit better. So I'm wondering if we'll be able to get all 4 of these guys or not. Can we trade out of the 1st round without losing Lamar Newsome? Will somebody else scout him and take him before we would? Will Trent Joseph actually go in the 4th round? I don't know. I really want to be able to get all 4 of these guys. I think, even though these 2 are third-round talents, I mean, their stats look amazing. There's probably some sort of downside holding them back to third-round talents. But, this is one of the best lineups I've seen for just a single college in this game. And I'm really, really liking the way that it looks right now. We're probably not going to get this lucky ever again to have 4 players out of Notre Dame and all of them be 3rd or better round talents. So I'm hoping that these 4 guys, we can get all of them in the draft without losing it. But we got a nice little bye week. So right now, I'm at 49 minutes recording, but obviously I've had to cut some stuff out, loading times and whatnot. So more than likely, we're just going to keep on going. It looks like Will Fuller V might have an opportunity here to increase his development trait. He needs 3 touchdowns or 150 more yards rushing or receiving to be able to get it. That is going to be very hard to do. Looks like we also have F.A. Obata, whom I believe is the dude out of no college. I don't really think we need to sign him to any sort of extension at the moment. Maybe at the end of the year, but most of the guys that are still on this aren't even like Notre Dame players. They're just kind of like the fill-ins for the rest of it. So not really too worried about that. Looks like on our bye week we got some nice little upgrades here. Julian Love going up to star development trait has been very nice as he's up to 79 overall, which is just phenomenal. Get that increase in zone coverage. Chase Claypool, deep threat, 75 overall. You love to see it as he continues to progress. It still says that he has 0 plays, which doesn't make any sense. He literally had the most receiving yards a few games ago. And then Jalen Smith up to 82 overall. One of the captains of our defense, star development, 4 years. He's definitely going to be good long term. So the New York Giants, actually I didn't check. Oh, the Giants did win. So we are in a tough spot. We need to win this game against the Giants to really put things into perspective here. I actually think this is the perfect place to watch a game and before we move on with the rest of the season. So I think this is going to be probably the last game that we watch for the regular season, and then hopefully we make the playoffs. I don't really know. We're sitting at 3-4, so it's going to be tough. But I think this is the perfect place to end the episode off. So thank you guys so much for watching this episode. I hope you guys did enjoy. Make sure you guys hit that like button down below for me, because you already know your support's greatly appreciated. And let me know in the comment section your thoughts on the series thus far. Do you like it? Is there things that you want me to improve on? Do you like the format? I don't really want to watch every single game, or else we're going to be here forever, and I just don't have time to watch every single game. But I do feel like watching at least 2 or 3 games this season could be very important, and would be a lot more fun than just like simulating the entire season and just being like, oh, well, this is what happened, you know what I mean? So, but let me know in the comment section what you guys think, and we'll see you all in the next episode.